What is going on, everybody? Today I'm in my friend Connor's 2018 Ford Mustang 5.0. I'm really excited to do this one. I'm really excited to do this. Never driven a Mustang. I mean, I drove it here for the shoot, but other than that, haven't driven one. Or any really V8 sports car for that matter. It's mostly been turbocharged 4 cylinders and a couple V10s, but nothing that was a V8. So yeah, like I said, this is a 2018 Ruby Red 5.0 Mustang. The Performance Pack 2 on it. Straight off the bat, it's really comfortable. Really comfortable seating position, really comfortable seats. The shocks are really comfortable. Really nice ride. Really enjoy that. And it's just, it seems like a well-built car. I mean, everything seems nice. Like, all the interior is very nice. I love this machined look. I think it's plastic, but I like the look of it. All the leathers are soft, everything. There's nothing really that feels cheap on it, which I know in the past has been a complaint with American cars in general. But yeah, it really is a comfortable car. Everything, speedometer, everything's right in your face, easy to see. You got the standard analog speedometer right there on your right, the RPM gauge on your left, and then a digital speedometer right in the center there. And that's mostly what I've been using, is just the digital one there in the center. Visibility was another thing that I was kind of concerned about, or not concerned, but interested in seeing what it was like, because I didn't think it would be too great, but it really is pretty good. A lot better than I thought it would be. But yeah, there's no real blind. Well, I mean, there's a blind spot in every car, but there's no real blind spots that are too noticeable. But yeah, I mean, the car feels really tight. Just going around, I mean, these are really easy, just kind of a normal curvy back road. The car feels really tight. Corners really flat, which is another thing I was kind of surprised about, because I thought it would be, you know, it's a big heavy muscle car. I thought that it would have some more body roll to it, but it really does corner pretty flat, and I'm surprised about that. But it makes, again, for a nice driving experience. I mean, yeah, overall the steering is really tight too. There's no real slop in the middle, and once you load it up, it really goes where you want it to go. Let's see. Taking off from the stop there. Clutch is not hard at all. Very easy for daily drivability. Yeah, I mean, if you can drive a manual, you can drive this car. It's not anything out of the ordinary or hard. It really is driver friendly in that aspect. But I mean, in my opinion, most people don't buy a Mustang for what the clutch feels like and how the seats are. I mean, you want your car to be comfy, but if you're buying a Mustang, you're buying it for that Coyote V8 up front, you're buying it for the transmission, and you're buying it for the looks. I think this car looks great. I absolutely love this color. If I were to buy a Mustang, I'd probably get the same color. I think it looks awesome. He does have the louvers in the back on the rear window, and then he has the KR running lights in the front there. But yeah, it's a good looking car. I like it. Yeah, I mean, overall it's really comfy. I'm gonna be heading onto a back road here. I'm just waiting for this light, but I mean, it's really nice. The shifter feels good. It's at 6 speeds, so you got to pull up, put it in reverse. But I mean, the whole layout of the center console here, all the buttons, it's easy to understand. I know a lot of, at least in the newer Fords I've been in, not necessarily Mustangs, but Explorers, anything like that, the control panel on the front is like really confusing to me. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't find it very user-friendly. But just looking at this, it seems to be really user-friendly, straightforward, really clean. You got the switches down here for your hazards, traction control, all that stuff. So I mean, it looks, for what you get this car for, it looks like you'd pay more for it. But again, you get it for that V8, and it's got instant torque, which is just fun. I mean, it doesn't, I'm not going to get on too hard because, again, I haven't driven too many high horsepower rear wheel drive cars, but I mean, easy to downshift. It's really a rev happy motor. Revs really, really freely. Just a little burp of the gas, and I mean, super easy downshifts. And the brakes, whew, are crazy. He's got the Brembo package on this, and yeah. Needless to say, they stop you really, really fast. I mean, it'll rip your face off when if you get on the brakes. I mean, you barely touch them and they just grip like crazy. Yeah, around 4,500, that Coyote really opens up. Honestly, it seemed kind of like a slug until you hit that RPM, and it really livens up there on the higher RPM. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fast car even below that, but when you hit 4,000, 4,500 RPM, that you can definitely tell it's like VTEC in a Honda. I mean, there's like nothing. It's like, I mean, it really opens up and comes alive there when you hit that RPM. But I mean, easy rev match. That's just instant torque. And this is a heavier car. I mean, obviously I drive that WRX hatchback, so this is quite a bit heavier car compared to my car. And for me, I definitely feel it. You definitely, I don't want to have to say be mean to this car, but you gotta kind of muscle it around. It's not dainty. It's not like light. I mean, steering feels pretty heavy, but it feels like a good heavy. But yeah, I mean, it really dives in the corners really well. Yeah, 4,500, get to the RPM, and it's like a whole new animal. It really is. I mean, it's a fun car. I've never been like a huge American muscle guy, but I mean, I love the way this car looks, and it's definitely a different experience than I was expecting it to be. Like I said, I've been really excited to do this, so I've been like building this car up in my head, yada yada yada, and it really, I mean, I would say it matches my expectations. Definitely when you get above that 4,500 RPM mark, it starts moving, and I mean, it doesn't stop pulling. That's the thing. Like my Subaru, I mean, it's a fast car, but once you hit 85, 90 miles an hour, it kind of dies off because it's that 4-cylinder. But this, I mean, this thing would just keep going easily. It's just got so much raw power. And I'm sure you saw in the glamour shots. I mean, this thing, that engine compartment, it looks good. I like that big V8 up front. It's a big car. I mean, it needs a big motor, but it is a big car. It's long. You don't really realize how long it is until you're driving it. But it's a long car. This has got the Michelin Pilot 4S's on it. So good grippy tire. You can definitely, I mean, it grips really well around the corners. Corners really flat, which again I was surprised about. But yeah, steering wheel, good, comfortable 10 and 3 position when you're doing that sportier driving. Has some small bumps for 10 and 2, but again, you're not going to be driving a 10 and 2 in this car. You're going to be driving a 10 and 3, because have this tint going across the top too, but it's not the biggest windshield in front, but it's not so small where I think it really inhibits visibility. It's still, I mean, you still got plenty of visibility. But overall, it was not at all what I would think a muscle car would be like, you know, a year ago or even 2 months ago. I always thought, you know, they were kind of, you know, you always hear that joke about, you know, oh, it's a boat, blah, 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 especially with the Dodges. But, I mean, I think I haven't driven a older Mustang, but I think on these new ones, they've really kind of embraced the sports car reputation more so. I mean, it's definitely a muscle car, but I think it's also embraced the sports car reputation as well. Because, I mean, it's a big car, but it feels really tight. It feels pretty light on its feet, even though it is pretty heavy. And with that V8 up there, you got endless amounts of power, and it'll just keep going and going and going and going. Yeah, I mean, for people who want a muscle car, I mean, I've always been a Chevy guy, but I don't know, this thing's pretty darn nice. I like it a lot. And it's just comfy too, like you could easily do a road trip in this thing, like no problem. I know in that Focus ST I reviewed, like the seats are comfy and you could do a road trip, but I think this is more comfortable in my opinion, I think, than that Focus was. It just rides really nice. You don't scrape on anything, like, but it still has that good solid ride height where it looks like a proper car. I mean, overall, seems like an awesome car. I really appreciate him letting me review it for him. Yeah, I mean, this thing is sweet. Really has a ton of power. Everything's laid out really nice. Everything seems really well made. Yeah, it's just overall, it's a really good car, really tight and fast. All right, so now we got it in Sport Plus. Before I was just driving it in normal mode. Woo! It livens it up a little bit, I'll tell you that. I'm not driving it in track because that does take traction control off. I want to leave that on, but put it in Sport. It definitely is a little peppier for sure. Yeah, this is a fun car, man. really surprised by this car. It's not what I was expecting, and that's a good thing. It's a lot better than I was expecting. A lot tighter. Not what I was expecting acceleration-wise and stuff like that. But handling-wise, it's not at all what I was expecting. It's much better than I ever thought it would be. I mean, this, yeah, it handles really, really well. Everything's staying cool too. It's not getting hot. I'm excited to see what he does with this thing, and see what it ends up looking like when he's all said and done with it. But yeah. I mean, you definitely hear it. Keep up with him until you start getting higher speeds, and then he's just got more power. I mean, once I'm out of third or fourth gear, I mean, it would walk me. But yeah, this thing, it's a cool car. Definitely have a newfound respect, interest, and liking for the Mustangs. It's like I said, I mean, I like the way they look, but I never was like the biggest fan of them. But it's a good car. I like it a lot. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next review or the next video. Hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.